I think today that I have brought one of the most vibrant coloured cars to this collection, visiting the Satin Crew, because we're going to be taking something out for a drive, which I'm intrigued to find out a bit more about. We are, of course, here with Alex.
How are you doing, Tim?
It's all good. It's good to be back.
Perfect.
We were actually here on the Purosangue tour
Yes.
2 months ago.
Yep.
The weather outside said no.
It was quite British, to be honest.
It was very British, and you were convincing that we should, or trying to convince that we should take out one of the
100%. 100%.
Dallaras in pouring rain. No thank you. Well, today we're going to be taking a look around this amazing little collection of very, I'm going to say because it's not my
Okay, go for it, come on.
Not very bright coloured cars, with the exception of what's lurking over here.
Yeah, it's a
that
Mustang.
thing. Oh my days.
Yeah, right.
I thought my bright green Mustang stood out. That's a different category.
Yeah.
But since we were here, there are some new arrivals. There are, of course, the Astons, the DBS 770 Ultimate, the GT8.
Yeah.
Over this side, you have your lovely pair of Dallaras.
Best cars ever made, if I'm being honest. Driving-wise, best cars.
Why is that? What makes these two? Because I know how much you guys love them. You've actually been to visit my garage.
Exactly.
And you came over with them. What makes these two so special to you? Like, what is
honestly, the brand Dallara obviously develops everything, like Chiron chassis and all that kind of stuff, the monocoque. And driving-wise, it's just absolutely insane. On this car, we got 1,200 kilos of downforce on street setup like this. These winter tires right now, I can only drive them up to 150 kilometers an hour, else they will explode because of the pressure of the car going down. Yeah,
it's pretty epic that you actually have a set of winter.
Yeah, we went drifting
zeros on this.
Yeah,
because this is the D50.
D50. This is the only one in the world which has the EXP package.
Okay.
Which is the extended aero package, different suspension, intercooler, and a little bit more power. Manual car, obviously, weighs around 800 kilos, 550 horsepower. Manual, obviously, it's amazing. It's honestly great.
That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I've never driven one yet. This is not the car that we're going to be driving today, but it is a car I'd like to drive.
You should.
At some point.
Yeah.
Roof on, roof off.
You need both.
We've got options.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got choices.
Definitely.
So, there are a few Mercs around.
Couple of them, yeah.
GTR. It's been
Great
to
car.
Opus. Has some Opus upgrades.
That is Opus, yeah. 670 horsepower, downpipes and all that stuff. So it sounds good. One of the very last C63S coupes ever built was one of the last ones leaving the production. That will be turned into a DTM kind of car. So
you're going to do a big...
Oh, wide body everything, over 1,000 horsepower at the end. It's going to go crazy.
507?
That's actually a car I gifted my dad.
Oh, cool.
Bought it with 17 kilometers on the clock, last January. Now we have it here, staying stock, just beautiful car, the way it is, I find.
There's a lot of interest picking up in those.
It's mad.
As is there with these E92s.
Yeah, and this is a very special one. So it's the championship edition one, Bruno Sprengler.
How many of these were
54.
There? Only
this
54?
Is number 19.
Cool.
Full grey exhaust on it, so it actually sounds good.
Yeah.
Gonna do the GTS front splitter and stuff.
So when they did the M4 DTM Championship Edition, I didn't realise, therefore, that they had already done a Championship Edition of this, of the M3, which of course grew into the M4. Yeah. So is it painted logo?
It's actually
logo, but you've got the stripes are standard. They are
standard. So it's actually frozen black from BMW, the color.
Okay.
But it's completely PPF'd. Stickers are factory, all of them. The painful thing with the car is one of those stickers is around 800 euros if you get it from BMW, which is so stupid because anyone can plot it.
Yeah.
It's a great car. It's super slow, but like emotion-wise, it's great. Sound is amazing.
The V8 era. Yeah. This is a new arrival.
Yes, definitely.
R8 GT, new R8 GT.
Yeah.
One of 333?
One of 333. This is car number 51.
Okay.
Finished in Suzuka Grey, which is obviously not the typical color for us.
No, it's a little bit of a departure.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks white, it's not
But that was forced because you can't get this in black.
Exactly, you have 3 different colors you can do: red, Daytona Grey, or Suzuka.
Okay.
Originally we wanted Daytona, but then we swapped to this, which actually makes this quite special. Yeah. Because it's the only Suzuka Grey one with the suspension, which is not upgraded to the racy one, let's say.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. 707.
Yeah, got 2 of those.
Dailies?
Not really, they're just great to drive, to be honest. And the other one I just crashed like 4 weeks ago.
Oh no.
Well, I didn't, I was driving truck reverse into it completely.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, completely gone the car.
And that?
E63S Final Edition in Magno Grey.
Graphite Grey Magno?
Graphite Grey Magno,
that's what it's called, so the same colour that this used to be.
Yeah.
I always try to bring, when we come here, to your completely blacked out garage filled with mostly black cars, something in a bright color.
It's beautiful, honestly. Solar beam, one of my favorite colors, actually.
Have you said what you have coming?
No. Not yet, but in a couple of weeks, something might go up a little level from that.
We'll talk about that. We'll leave that for the time being. The TT-RS is no ordinary TT-RS. So this is, because you said you're still basically like working on a bunch of stuff with it, right? Thanks.
You're welcome, Tim. Yeah, so this is, we bought it because obviously one of the last 5-cylinder cars, right? The TT-RS from Audi.
Yeah, and it's an amazing engine. Like, sounds amazing, super
insane,
cool.
Insane. If you want to maybe pop the bonnet and we can show it quickly.
Have a quick look.
It's quite cool. So we bought the car as one of the last, and then Grail was like, yo, can you do it for SM Motor Show, make it a bit crazier? Yeah. So we basically did the whole TT Cup kit, exact same dimensions. Spoilers missing right now. Car's pushing 855 horsepower, which is quite crazy. Reliable, 855 horsepower, which is cool.
Do you have to do anything with the gearbox for that?
Yes.
I was going to say, is it?
Everything has been strengthened. Like, I don't know all the exact details. I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah.
Not trying to be. I just like to drive. But it's crazy. Like,
still four-wheel drive?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
It's missing front splitter and a couple of parts. But I mean, the project only started, like, realistically speaking, 4 months ago. Yeah. And for 4 months, it's quite decent where we got. So it will be cool. And once it's done, you need to take it out for a drive.
Definitely. I'd love to find out everything about it, to be honest.
Because that will be way quicker than the R8. Because everything has been changed.
That's kind of crazy. And inside, carbon bucket, that seat is cool. That's basically just a shell.
Yeah, and it's from the UK. And honestly, it's one of the most comfy bucket seats.
Yeah?
It's really good. Tillit Racing.
It's all down to fit. It's all down to like the way these things are made. Because some manufacturers make these unbelievably good-looking bucket seats, but then you sit in them and you're like, oh, horrid, pure horrid. Yeah. All right.
Cage is coming in, whole interior, everything will be Alcantara. So still quite some work, but soon it's done.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah. The greatest car in the collection?
Definitely, yeah. It's actually the fastest one we have right now.
The fastest one? Best maneuverability around the garage?
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Come up here, past all of your workshop and stuff. I have the same thing, just stuff that accumulates.
It's insane, yeah.
Astons, obviously, GT8 Club, GT8 Group, amazing community.
It's still my favorite car.
Yeah, honestly. Just noise and silly. It's fun how you obviously got these, because you spec'd this, but you bought that.
Yes.
But they match.
Yes.
They fit. It's
they
the
match
theme,
exactly.
the black with the red details.
Yeah, 100%.
So then what happened here as we come past? What happened with this? Because this doesn't fit your normal theme.
No.
You know, this is a bit like different.
Larry. It's very Larry. No, so this is actually not our car. We got the car for a couple of months. Courtesy of Grail. And we basically made the car look good because it was crashed. Okay. And then it got quite the cheap, let's say.
It's a 5-litre GT with a GT500 look.
Exactly, yeah. 450 brake horsepower, I think it is, manual.
Okay.
And now it's...
So it's stock power?
Stock power, yeah.
Okay.
Just not stock exhaust.
No.
And that thing is too loud.
What you have told me is that if you started in here, you need air defenders on.
100%, yeah.
So we're not going to start it in here.
This is like way louder than straight pipe SVJ.
Really?
Yeah, our SVJ was way quieter than that.
Oh gosh, I'm kind of intrigued to hear it later. We'll see how we feel. We'll see how we feel. And the rolls.
And the rolls, just typical Wraith, right? Good car. I'm not a fan of it, let's be honest.
Yeah, not your thing?
Nah, because we also have the S63, the new one. Just way better, honestly. That's just an 07 series. It is. If you're being honest, it is.
Brutal honesty. So, out of all of those cars, there's something that I want to find out more about. Something that I have to be honest, until today, I'd not even ever seen one of. Something that actually links back to a car I used to own. One of the original Shmeemobiles, one of the first cars on the channel, was an Audi R8. An Audi R8 V10 Spider. And I no longer own a V10.
True.
So, we're going to take out the R8 GT.
GT, yeah.
Should we pull it forwards? Have a look around it?
Yeah, let's go.
Get cracking on. Alex came to get the keys.
Yeah. Monster.
This is the Audi we're driving today.
This is the Audi. It's something very special, actually. Only selected people get it. We actually got it for free because we're such good Audi customers, right?
Have you had a bunch of R8s?
Yeah, so many. One.
That's not the answer I expected. Okay.
Well, we kind of had two, but let's be real, one.
That's the coolest one.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to be taking, well, you can take the scooter if you want, but we're not going to be taking the scooter. We are going to be taking the actual GT. I'm taking the actual GT. No, we'll go and do some moving, because I'm going to move my car out of the way to get your car out. I tell you what, the thing with the R8, I'm going to say it now because we're about to have a V10 cold start. Engine. It's like the last hurrah of the V10.
It is.
We both used to own STOs.
Yep.
Neither of us currently own STOs.
Yes. Bit of a sign there.
Perhaps, you could look at it that way, but there is something about a 10-cylinder power plant. Yep. So I don't know why I've got this, because I need
It's
to move
actually
mine.
a good point. I should probably, well,
I'm going to put it in here somewhere.
Yeah,
we'll work this out.
You know it's OPF though, right?
Does that mean it doesn't sound great?
It sounds good, but it should be louder.
Okay, I know some people who can fix that.
Same here. And we will, for sure.
Come on then, I'm going to stand back here.
Alrighty, let's go.
It's not Mustang deafening.
You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, it's a bit softer. You weren't wrong, it's a bit softer.
Yeah, right? It is.
It could be louder.
Way louder, to be honest.
But, pull it out, let's have a proper look around, shall we?
Okay, I just really dropped the key in between it.
It's going well, isn't it?
It's going absolutely amazing. Love it.
Now that you've rescued the key,
yes.
Okay, so talk to me about this again. There are 333, you can only have it in 3 pre-configured specifications.
Indeed.
Red, grey,
different kind of grey.
Different kind of grey.
Which is actually white.
What's it?
Suzuka grey.
Suzuka grey, of course. I remember that because Suzuka grey has always been an option on the R8s.
Exactly.
So my R8 was like first gen V10. It started as an R8 V8, then they put the V10 in it.
Yep.
Borrowed from Lamborghini, of course. Then they made a facelift.
Yes.
They made a GT, actually before the facelift of the first gen.
True.
Same number of cars. Then they made an all-new model. It's had a whole load of different models over time.
Many.
Performance parts, LMS, etc., etc.
Plus.
And this is like the last hurrah.
This is the last of the last. The last V10.
The last R8, the swan song, because it's done. It's out of production.
It's absolutely
finished.
done, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because for the last 17 years, the R8 has been like Audi's poster car.
Yeah.
It's been the race car. It's been the icon at the time, basically supercar. Now the definition of supercar changes. To some people this is a sports car, to some people it's a supercar. For today, I think we can call it a supercar. It looks like a supercar and it borrows a lot from Lamborghini.
Yeah.
It's always had this, well, it started as Quattro. This is rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive, yeah.
This has more power?
Good. Yeah, 620 horsepower.
Okay, so the still 5.2 litre, naturally aspirated V10.
Yeah.
Stunning view of it through the engine bay.
It's beautiful, right? Especially with all the carbon. For Audi, this is quite nice, let's be honest.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
I know when this launched, a few people didn't like the fact that basically it's a lot of the performance parts.
Yeah.
It's something that's been discussed because you could individually opt in different markets. In the UK, I think it was harder. You could effectively opt for this wing, for the aero blades, for the flicks at the front, for some of the other elements of it.
Yeah.
I think what you couldn't do is get...
I think rear diffuser.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
You couldn't get what this car has as a completely unique... I'm got to say it. There's a completely unique option for the Audi R8 GT of the GT suspension.
Yeah, so basically, we don't have that. But it's quite funny because maybe you're actually wrong. Because only the Suzuka grey cars have that suspension. Not the red one, not the Daytona grey one.
Really?
Only that color code has it, yeah.
Okay, so that means this is odd, given that it's Suzuka grey, but without the GT suspension.
Because there was a Daytona grey order and we changed it. And Audi was basically nice enough to give us a Suzuka one, but without the suspension.
Interesting. You could have the performance parts wheels.
Yeah. Well, we didn't spec anything. Nothing.
Could you? Are they the same seats, the performance parts? They're obviously trimmed differently for the GT.
I think they're literally just a different trim. They are really bad.
One of the arguments, though, is that they perhaps could have gone completely crazy.
Yeah, they should.
And by that I mean like carbon door cards, you know, almost STO level.
Yeah, exactly.
In a different way.
It's still German though, you know? Like it's still Audi. They can't go that, they should, but they can't go that crazy.
Yeah. It's still part of the whole VW Group enterprise. I'm interested to see what it's like out on the road though. So we should probably hop in, go take it for a little run. You drive first.
All right.
We'll get a feel for this.
Sure thing.
See what this is like, because I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind another R8 back in the garage.
You should get one.
I want to see what this is like, and kind of how much it reminds of the STO and how much it reminds of my earlier R8. Time flies, over a decade ago now. first comment, the second we sat in this car, was about the seats.
Yeah, they're crap. They are like really bad. Like, you don't have any, what do you call it, lumbar support, I think?
Yeah, the lower back. The thing is, it feels like a Lambo seat.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it really feels like a Lamborghini designed seat, just a different shape. And I think you and I are in mutual agreement that Lamborghini seats are not the best seats in the world. Even the softer seats I had in my STO was always a bugbear for me. It was always something I was never the biggest fan of. But at the end of the day, R8 and Hurricane,
it's the same thing.
They are really, really closely matched. You start pulling a Hurricane apart, you find Audi parts everywhere. If you go back to the previous generation, the R-tronic gearbox, obviously this has the dual clutch S-tronic, but the R-tronic gearbox in my old one was a Lamborghini E-gear. It was literally the Gallardo gearbox in the R8, and it made complete sense that they would do that because Audi obviously own Lamborghini and have done since the late 1990s. 25 years now, that's actually crazy.
It is crazy.
But for Audi, obviously the R8 throughout its life has been this halo icon, this flagship, pinnacle, epic car that it just got people's hearts racing, and it came out at totally the wrong time. 2007, global economy crash came the next year or two, and it was a real problem for the car. And the funny thing I actually find is if you look at the performance stats of an R8 V8, you think about it, like, it looks amazing. It's got those carbon side blades. It's like this two-seat Audi supercar. Except, like, 0 to 60, 100 kilometers an hour is like 4.5 seconds.
True.
Which by modern standards
is just nothing.
Forget it. But it's about a lot more than that. Obviously, this is a funny evolution because most brands, BMW, Audi, etc., have gone from making rear-wheel drive cars to now making four-wheel drive cars. This has gone from being a four-wheel drive car to being a rear-wheel drive car. But, and I don't know if you've played with it yet, because I don't know if you've had enough driving in it, it does have this rear torque vectoring funky mode.
It works really good. So I drove the R8 RWS, the limited one, right? Didn't like it at all. I find it drove a bit like an RS3 or something. Like, way too easy. This is totally different. Like, I actually didn't expect it. I was like, okay, it's just going to be like another R8. It's different. It's actually different for once.
So does it feel a bit more like it wants to kill you? Is it that kind of sketchy edginess?
Yes.
So what do? You just literally press...
You press it, and then you basically... So traction turns off, right? And then
you rotate it.
Can toggle it, right?
Your torque rear settings.
So I kind of explain it in a way that, like, you have like those stages, let's say. And for each stage, basically, the car gives you a bit more play, right? So if you turn it up all the way, traction is essentially just completely off, right? But if you have it like 75%, it's like the perfect thing to look like a hero, but actually don't know how to drive.
I love it. I mean, the AMG, the GT Black Series, has a similar traction control toggle, obviously, you know, from the GTR. So we go straight to dynamic.
Of course, have to, right? Approaching German Autobahn.
Absolute must. Sport on the gearbox. You have drive, sport, and manual, obviously.
Individual. Thing is, gearbox is quite good. So it's a bit more like Aventador style, you know, on the STO when you put it in Corsa, how it gives you like that little punch. This got it too, which I quite like.
So it's not super smooth like the regular
Not at all. Not at all.
Because I know they've done new software for the gearbox. They've obviously done new software for the drivetrain. It's obviously got a little bit more power. It's like 10 horsepower more than standard.
10 horsepower more, Woo! I think it's actually a little bit lighter, but I'm not sure.
Well, officially, in the numbers, it is only a touch lighter. But I think the rumours are that it's a lot more than that. As we're going at R8 speed following a tractor.
It's amazing, right? We chose a perfect day, like a nice sunny Saturday.
25 kilometre an hour cruise.
Amazing.
This is exactly where you want to enjoy.
Now, but like when we get to the fun part, I think you should drive to fully experience it, and like honestly, be honest. Don't think like it's your car and stuff. I don't care, because I like the brutal honesty. Because some cars are good and some are just
It sounds like you're setting me up to critique it right now.
I am. I actually am.
Like to... I'll be interested. How much driving have you done? What are you at?
It's a good question. Where you actually see
It's run-in.
It is definitely run-in. I think it's at like 1,200 or 300 kilometers.
Okay. It's funny with the screen. Who knows which display it will tell you?
I mean, it doesn't even tell you the kilometers.
You probably have to rotate one of the left or right side.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's over 1,000, right?
It's good to go.
So you can send it,
Send it full send.
In a legal way.
This is going on for far too long. So cue a pause and a driver swap.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Let's go.
All right, let's swap around. This is gonna be fun. Alrighty. Like when you drive, I know we're still in sport and dynamic, but when you just get started, it's very smooth. No, you do feel the kick on the shift.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I like, because it's not that perfect thing.
Yeah, they've engineered a touch of, like, a touch of less perfection. Does that make any sense?
Kind of, yeah.
How do you move the seat? Can you lean it forward or is it fixed?
I don't think so. I think it's fixed.
Is there some kind of control? No. Okay.
No, it's fixed.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a carbon bucket, but not a carbon bucket.
Yeah. It's a weird seat, this. Like, it's really odd. Like, I drove this for 10 hours straight when we picked it up, and it started snowing, which wasn't great.
Like on the day you picked it up?
Yeah. So semi-slicks, right? Snow.
What tyres are we on?
I thought it was Cup 2s, but it's actually 4S.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
okay, so
it's quite decent.
Because in some ways you could say, hey, this is Audi's GT Black Series.
It is.
Except it's, I feel like they could probably, my instinct already, without obviously having driven in any anger, is that they could probably have been a little bit more aggressive with it.
100%.
It could be punching harder in the design, it could be punching harder. The tyres tell a story alone, like they could provide it on Cup 2s or Chevrolet Rs or something a little bit crazy.
Although for that I'm not sure if the normal Suzuka one comes on Cup 2s. I could imagine.
Maybe if you have the GT suspension you get it different.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be.
But don't you think, like, instantly you feel that the car is a bit more stable than a normal R8?
I haven't driven a normal R8 for a while.
Okay.
I have to confess here. But it does feel remarkably similar to the STO.
Yeah.
Like, remarkably similar.
Also the sound on the inside, once those valves open, it's literally the same thing.
I cheated with mine because I opened the valve.
Yeah, we did.
So I don't really remember how the valve sounded before. It's like, wait for the sign, wait for the sign, wait for the sign. Get ready.
Wait for that A7.
Who's going to pull out as well. Yeah. Fourth gear.
And send it.
And enjoy the revs. It feels a little bit edgier.
Yeah.
You definitely feel that. It packs a good punch. It's quicker than the STO.
Right.
This is way quicker than the STO. I actually wasn't expecting that to be so easy. Hang on the brakes.
But do you feel how stable it is?
It's good.
STO?
Well, that was fun. Love it, absolutely love it. So, in the earlier stages of acceleration, I know we're just in a straight line, it does feel set up more aggressively, a little bit twitchier on the steering. Obviously, it's got a more aggressive camber setup, I presume, versus standard car, because the standard car is, let's say, built for this kind of running on the Autobahn.
Yeah. But the gearbox is interesting as well, right? How it shifts.
It is for sure. What amazes me the most is obviously I've driven my STO on the Autobahn. Yeah. The STO doesn't get to 300 easily.
No.
To get the STO to 300 needs a long run.
Yeah, from like 280 onwards.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And that's obviously because of roof snorkel, rear wing, excessive aero almost.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how much this is hindered comparatively on a track drive.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's funny because for a naturally aspirated engine, there's so much more power up
top,
towards
right?
the top.
Yeah, it's weird.
So I did drive the R8 V10 Spider, which only has 500 something horsepower.
Yeah, 500 something, yeah.
And the interesting thing with that car is it feels underpowered.
Yeah.
Like in this type of environment, you just don't have any go. It feels like you're waiting for ages. I love the sound.
The sound is great.
It gives you a proper shot.
Yeah, right.
And now that we've done a few minutes of driving in it, I prefer these seats to the STO seats, honestly.
Okay.
It's better for me.
What about the car?
What about the car?
Do you prefer this?
We need to go drive on some nice twisty road stuff somewhere. Oh, these slow speed limits.
Yeah,
it's like open road, tunnel. We just want to go and scream through it.
The sad thing is, right behind the tunnel, it's derestricted.
Yeah, literally right behind.
Right behind.
But until we get to the other side, this direction is actually faster than the other direction. It's really, on the shift, it's really, if your steering wheel isn't dead straight, it wants to kick it. It wants to play with it.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the sign, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it.
There you go.
that auto upshift thing.
Yeah.
If you don't quite click the upshift paddle in time, it will do it for you.
Yeah, you can turn it off somehow.
Okay.
I'm not sure how.
I like the view of the wing at the back.
Yeah,
I think
nice.
it's a nice size wing. A lot of modern cars just like the Black Series.
It's really
Go
good.
too far with their wings. Kind of feels lazy on the upshift though, in the sense that I'm not doing it. It's got soul, it's got character.
It's
exciting.
car.
I like it because it feels a little edgy,
Yeah.
which too many modern cars don't do.
Yeah.
And this sounds ironic because it's what I didn't necessarily like about the STO. Is the way that the STO feels edgy. In so many ways feels very fake.
Yeah, true.
And that's the problem. That was one of the things that detracted from the driving of it for me. I have minor things, minor details. Let's go find somewhere that isn't the Autobahn. We have found ourselves some woodland.
Yeah, a little bit of a good road.
Although I will point out that it is wet here. Yeah, which is kind of odd because it's been sunny and warm today. But hey, it's winter, it rained yesterday.
True.
That happens. And we can be in a slightly more normal, relatable drive. Because as fun as the Autobahn is, as fun as driving 300 kilometers an hour is,
It's not reality.
there aren't many places in the world you are lucky enough to have a road open enough to do that. Now, this is probably where it's more interesting to talk suspension. Because I tell you what, this feels pretty sharp.
Right?
Like, this doesn't feel like it's missing something. Obviously, I don't have the benchmark.
Maybe go left.
I don't have the benchmark comparison
Yeah.
with what the car would be like with the GT handling pack. Low on fuel, sorry.
Empty it out completely.
My bad, too much of that.
Go for it.
As we head through the trees.
Yeah.
But here, I tell you what, it feels really good.
It's not bad at all. Oh, there's a lot of branches here.
Yeah, don't want to ruin your nice carbon fiber body parts.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, famous last words.
Literally. It's always where the good ideas come in.
Yeah. I like the character of it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just a touch softer riding than the STO.
Yeah.
You know, even with spoil, okay, this tarmac is beautiful, it's pristine, it's perfect, which makes it easy. You're not really testing the suspension of a car in the same way that you do down an English lane.
True, true.
But I like how it rides. I like the feel of it here. It's good. Oh,
That was rough.
that was very rough.
That was rough.
That was traction control being like, nope.
Nah, you're not doing that, yeah.
I guess still a little bit of grease on the tyres. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's in fully on. I haven't turned anything off at this stage. Interesting.
So what's your opinion on the car now?
I'm enjoying the drive. I still feel like it should be edgier.
Yeah.
I feel like the very final R8, the last R8 GT, just because of history, the old GT, I mean, I would love to drive an old GT like back to back to compare. And I make no secret that, you know, my first car was a Clio, I bought a Clio V6. My second car was a 1 Series, I bought a 1M.
Yeah.
My V8 Vantage Roadster I bought back,
GT8.
and I have the GT8 as well, and I had an Audi R8 in the early days, so a new or an R8 V10 would certainly be on my wish list of cars. But I don't necessarily know if I feel that, like this, which should be the one I gravitate to as somebody who loves hardcore track cars, has gone as far as I would like it to. I feel like I need to drive one with the other suspension setup, although I do feel like that might make it too rough as well.
On the road, yeah.
Because I have to be realistic, I live in England. Roads in England are horrible, they're not like this. Like this is
Smooth.
if we had roads like this with this sight visibility and this smooth tarmac, yeah, it'd be amazing, but unfortunately we don't. So you've got to be realistic about it. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. I love that it is genuinely limited. It's genuinely a small production run, because these days not many people do that. They tend to go a little bit crazy. Yeah, the fact that it's got the actual number
It's quite cool.
written here.
It's not like one of 799 with the SVJ.
Yes, that's a cool detail, that's a cool feature.
So you would more tend towards like the UpX GT thing.
Oh, that looks crazy.
Yeah, but
it
the
also
price
looks
is
unusable.
Crazy.
It's all, I mean, I haven't been lucky enough to drive it yet, but that's literally an R8 race car.
Yeah.
Like, that's stepping in through a cage and sitting in a race seat.
It is. Yeah, we had an allocation for it, but we thankfully declined it. Because I think it's a great car, but it's not usable, let's be honest. You're a guy who does road trips with your GT Black Series. You can't do it in that. It's just not going to work.
drives this, on the other hand, you drive like we are right now.
And it just works.
It just works. It just works. I think that's where I conclude it. You know, if you're a big Audi collector, love your Audis, this fits right in.
Yep.
For sure. But I think you need to have quite a lot of love for the R8 to really get this car.
100%.
To be as into it as I guess you need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of left in the, I'm enjoying driving it. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity because I've learned a lot about the car today, but I'm not sat here thinking, oh, I want to leave my GT Black Series with you and take this instead. I love the GT Black Series, no secrets.
I would actually take a GT Black Series over this as well.
You're also a bit of an AMG guy.
Yeah. But
hey, I am jealous because I do think it's cool and I would love an R8 back in my garage. So maybe just driving this today is going to have me spending tonight at the classifieds, seeing what's out there.
Would be good.
You never know what might follow.
Save the B10s.
What we've learned here is that number one, this is a better car than I expected. I think that's fair to say. Number two, all cars should have silver wheels.
Nah. Just a big no. Oh, thank you.
You'd actually be able to see them. Although I do love this single light that you have in here. It just means that where the car is parked right now, the wheels are really, really in the dark. This has been actually quite surprising. Like, obviously out of all of the cars here, I'm gonna go to the ones that are colored, just because that's just where my eyes go. But I've driven many of them. I haven't driven a Dallara. I've never driven a Dallara, so we might have to do that at some point. This was a car I did want to experience because of my personal R8 history, like just to know where it's gone. I've driven the V10 Plus when it came out. I've driven the Spider when that came out, which was quite underwhelming because it's only 500 and something horsepower. It's not a whole lot. But having done 9,000 miles nearly with my STO, so about 15,000 kilometers, it's really cool to experience the difference because this just feels slightly more all-round a happier car to drive. Like it's I think a slightly better car, although it doesn't have the like visual drama and looks of the STO, right? And let's face it, that's what Lamborghini buyers often want, is that crazy out there. I do think that for the last hurrah of an R8, they could have gone crazier.
It's true. It's just a more complete package than the STO, but look-wise, I would still go for STO.
I think a little bit more like the Abt XGT setup would have worked, would have been really cool. But thank you for the drive.
No worries.
This was mega. This was really good fun. This kind of worked.
Yeah, this really worked.
It was good. I'm happy. Awesome. Cool day. Thank you, Alex, for hosting us. Been awesome here at the Satin Crew garage, taking a look around, taking this out for a drive and having some fun. But we shall continue our tour with the GT Black Series. There are tons more places to head by on our adventure around Europe. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.